It's time for Ask Mike Mondays. Mike answers one listener's question every week. Here's Michael Becker and Paul Peebles.
Welcome to Ask Mike Mondays. I'm your host, Paul Peebles, National Underwriter for Old Capital. And joining me today, the mayor himself, Mr. Michael Becker.
Hey, Paul. Did I get demoted?
You do own some apartments now down in the Austin, Texas marketplace, which is the capital of Texas. And if you haven't been to Austin, you definitely need to go down there. High technology, beautiful countryside, kind of reminds you of Northern California. Absolutely gorgeous, puts the rest of the part of Texas to shame. We certainly like it, and Mike just purchased 2 properties down there, Mike?
That's right, yeah.
So he's been promoted from mayor to governor of the great state of Texas. So Michael, who is, as you know, is a former banker and has loaned people money, millions and billions of dollars of commercial real estate lending, and now he took the opportunity to move into ownership a number of years ago, and he's done a great job. He's raised over $150 million of capital, limited partners money. He's closed on over 29 large apartment buildings. He owns or has owned over 6,200 high-end apartments, and so it's amazing how much work you have done over these last couple of years. When did you leave the bank?
Bought my first apartment deal in 2013, so
that was a while ago.
About 5 years ago.
Yeah, and then before that, you owned real estate too. So he is definitely the man to talk about concerning apartments. So one of the things that we want to do is ask Mike this question. Mike, you mentioned that in half the deals you see, you'll at least do a back-of-the-napkin analysis to see if a deal is a fit. Can you explain your back-of-the-napkin process and what makes a deal a go or no-go? Thanks. Keep the great episodes coming. So tell us a little bit about that, Mike.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges is what do you invest your time in? One of the things that I've kind of realized through this whole process, my biggest costs in life is just kind of opportunity costs. So if I spend time on this, I can't spend time on something else, whether, professionally or personally with the family or whatever. So trying to be as efficient as possible is certainly something that we strive to do. That's hard to do when you're first starting out because you don't have a certain level of experience. And as you get more experience, the more efficient you can get. So kind of the hierarchy of things that we do, first and foremost, I'm pretty focused and, we have 2 markets that we buy in, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin. So we feel like we have a pretty good grasp of the area, the submarkets and geography and things along that nature. So, the first thing we look at is kind of location. So a whole lot of these deals just don't even spend any time on besides initial telephone call because it's just in the wrong location. So, having that level of knowledge and confidence about the areas that we operate in, is certainly helpful. It's one of the problems if you're in like 20 different markets and, you have one deal here, one deal there, and you don't really have everything set. You're just looking for a good deal. It's really hard to get efficient that way because you don't have that geography knowledge that someone that's in 1 or 2 markets would have. Then once it kind of passes that, and from there we, then the high level number doesn't sound insane that the broker throws out. Then we'll kind of do a real quick back of the napkin. So we kind of developed a quick little spreadsheet. So really some of the things we're just kind of looking for is kind of how the deal's operating. We'll put in the historical numbers on a real high level basis. We'll do a very quick market rent survey, kind of just try to do a real basic survey. We use ALM, we use CoStar, kind of spit out real high level metrics on what we think the market rent should be. So we kind of determine where they are today, where they should be, kind of how much upside's in the deal. And then we'll kind of plug in operating expenses that are, pretty consistent with that type of asset in our portfolio. Make a couple adjustments for property taxes going up, and then we'll kind of spit out like a real quick back of the napkin NOI where we think we'll be in hopefully, 3 years or so. And then we'll kind of compare that and, put a market cap rate on it in the future. And if we feel like we can create 40, 50% increase to whatever down payment that we need to put down over about a 3-year period, that's kind of in the reasonable range. Then we'll start digging in and do a little bit more. If we do that analysis and it's basically the value is pretty close to what the purchase price is today, then we kind of just punt the deal and we don't really spend a whole lot more time on because we feel like the deal's a little bit overpriced today. So that's kind of really the real high level what we're trying to do. And we built out a spreadsheet and kind of we can do that in about 15 minutes or less on any deal that we have. And once we kind of have that, then we just determine, okay, is there something here? Do we want to spend more time on? Or is this just seems too expensive? Let's pass and move on to the next thing. So that's really kind of what we do, Paul.
So one of the things that we do, remember, Old Capital is going to probably do $1 billion worth of apartment loans this year, and we don't push that very much, but we definitely do a lot of business. But one of the things that I think would help you if you're an investor is have us take a look at your work. So we don't want you just to send over an offering memorandum and a trailing 12 and a rent roll. We want you to do your analysis first. We want to look through it. We want to get what your reasoning is on these transactions. Send it over to us. Let's take a look at it, and then we'll check your math and make sure that it makes sense. So there's a lot of times that people forget this or add too much there. We can kind of tell you exactly how we would underwrite the deal, but we need your help. We want you to put the energy and the attention to detail first on the deal, and then have us take a look at the deal and just check your math. We'll spend 30 minutes in just doing a high-level analysis to help you out and making sure that you're doing it right and you're looking at it the right way. Because sometimes some of these mom and pops forget to put expenses in there, and you will take their expenses and interpolate that that's how you're going to run it. Absolutely not correct. So you got to figure out what the true expenses are going to be to run that property.
Yeah, and the more you do it, it's just like anything in life. The more practice you have at it, the better you're going to get, and then it becomes instinctual after a while, where you can kind of just see something, do a quick analysis, kind of have a gut feel. This is either going to work or not work, and it's not really a gut feel. It's just a matter of having seen deal after deal after deal. You can start recognizing patterns quickly.
Yeah, so we'll do that for free. We'll invest our time into your deal because we treat everybody the same way. We don't know if this is going to be your first and last deal, or if this is your first deal on top of trying to do 12 or 15 deals in the future. So we're going to give it our best shot, but we need for you to do the analysis first and send it over to us for us to review and take a look at it and just check your math. So think about that. Make sure you go to the Old Capital podcast and send us some of the information. Then we'll take a look at it and see if it makes sense. Anything more, Michael?
That's it.
Now, if somebody wanted to get a little bit more information about what you do, what SPI does, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Yeah, the easiest way is simply just go to our company's website, which is SPI Advisors. Just go to www.spiadvisor.com. That's SPI, like spy, advisor.com. There's a contact us form. Fill that out. I'm always happy to have a 10 or 15-minute telephone call with listeners of the podcast.
Okay, again, what does SPI stand for?
Strategic Property Investment.
Okay, so I just want to make sure you're not spies for somebody.
We're not Russian.
All right, some great information. Thank you, Michael. I'm Paul Peebles. Have a great day.